Namaste, hello, and welcome to Chhinnamasta Conversations, a part of the Mindful Maya podcast in a conversation from the silence to the silence. In this episode, we share a conversation with two yogis, Navaran and Aadu, regarding the Chhinnamasta Technique of Meditation discovered by Maya.
How do you function in that bridge of I and I-lessness, where you can only see the body as an instrument is just the music that one strike that happens, and then there is this reverberation of energy that remains, so that I that is not occupying that physical space is so powerful, because the moment that we were born, like yo sansarma त्यो forceसँग आउन साथ, then it spreads like that reverberation. And what my physical sense of me and reality is just the remains of that reverberations. By the end of that reverberation, it again mixes. And because the question is important, because we are navigating in that ocean of reverberation. The boat, the body is the boat. When I used to lose consciousness in my childhood, for many times, it felt to me that my connection with the deeper sense of non-being was stronger every time. And then experiencing some of the experience in the realms of breath, body, mind, and different forms of experimentation, that leaves you into another realm where you can sustain that space. It elongates. What we experienced today was interesting, because now first you are doing it knowing that you are going to go to that door, right? And then the second is you reach the door knowing but quite unexpectedly. So that sense of non-being takes over. The being that breathes is looking at the being that is breathless, without the breath. So we could say it's like a death experience. Even that's why any kind of out-of-body experiences or very primal experiences of the body and mind goes to a place of death. So that felt like it is also a door that is opening. It's like a threshold.
Mm-hmm. Can't really explain. It happened by chance one day, and it showed. And I was quite interested more, of course.
Yeah.
Then I started going again and again.
Yeah.
Till I started falling down.
Yeah.
It was still quite beautiful, actually. The more I fell down,
yeah.
the more longer I could stay there and watch.
Yeah.
At some point, I started sharing this. That's when it became like, okay, this is not just me, it's a thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's a thing, it's there, it's how the body works, and the body is showing it simply. So this definitely crosses us over, and expectingly.
Yeah.
And but we can't really explain what's going to happen there. But we know that we're entering that door at the moment.
Something
and it's
similar.
Always safe, you know, like you always learn so much there, and nobody has been like...
Because what I was asking is, when you lose the motion senses of the body is like flat, right? And you lose the time and space sense of the mind is flat, right? And once the mind is flat, then there is this overmind that occupies your whole body, your whole atmosphere. Before you come back and before you see that there are these two guys that are with you, holding you, before even you are back, you are already in that presence of a mutual being.
Yeah.
Right?
You know
what
that
I saw was,
there.
it was not just that. I saw that the person as a person is experiencing it, but there is also this. If there was only one person, it would have, I think, right, it would feel different.
I have felt that you see that there is these two beings there, but it's not in a sense of seeing by seeing and then understanding or connecting it to any word or language. It's seeing. You see something is there, and later the identity, the stories, everything start coming back, and then you know who is that two being there, and then we continue. Like we come out slowly in that kind of manner.
If you welcome it, my dear brother, I think people will be afraid to work with the inner thirst, inner materials, because
They're really
it is
afraid.
not chitikko parera taktuk garera rakhne type energy.
No.
It is not something that is like sringar pratar garera it will be beautified. It's like vibrant Kali.
Yeah,
In all her form. So I feel to many, that's why I said death. Death is so fearful for people, right? Once you see it, then you might say, okay, I don't want to experience it over any time again. So perhaps what I was thinking is many of the experiences that goes to that realm of non-sculpted space, kunai sculpting नै छैन, खाली. Then you bring a lot of the stuff that you don't know that about yourself that is already in you. And the stories, but you also see that the stories are so not fixed. I think the blessing is to see that there is nothing fixed. That this whole thing is a play, right? Because there is no meaning that can occupy a sense of being. The being is beyond any meaning. And now if our experiences opens beyond that fear, that means your sense of being has also melted into non-being. Even when you are there, in a sense you are not there. It is just happening. The beauty of losing control.
Art, beauty, doorway,
threshold. Sometimes I feel similar depths of, I'd say, inner feelings when subtle, clicks of bright awareness flourishes within my consciousness. And that happens to me when I'm singing or listening to music, right? It leads me, in a sense, to a place of experience that I have no control. Like something liquid is flowing through me. Sometimes it happens with the person that you love, because many things you expect, and sometimes in love you cannot expect it suddenly. There is grace, there is sudden joy. And sometimes it happens with friends, because with friends you put all your guards down. You are not like, you are relaxed. So the being is no more concentrated in that I. So thresholds are like this. And how do we sustain that threshold into the everyday mortal breathing collective awareness? That is another challenge, because then there it is not just I that you control, but there are multiplicity of I's, right? There is you, them, us, we, nature, 5 elements, everything gets connected. And the beauty of that touch or that being or sense of just letting everything go is to also see the miracle and joke that the life is playing with us. And then the joke is that we are breathing.
It really is a joke, actually. Everywhere it shows that it's the same game everywhere. It's just stories, millions and millions of stories.
But there is no one playing the game.
Yeah. It's just happening, it's just same thing happening everywhere.
But that, the disturber, that is where the disturber comes in, my dear, because we are not awake enough to see it, experience it. Sometimes it happens, but we are asleep. And it is all a dream. Even when you are awake, it is all a dream.
A dream within a dream within a dream within a dream
within a dream. The other thing that I observed is my own relationship with my sense of I, right? Because his sense of the brother is different from someone else's sense of the person. Even my sense of the person is different from who the person actually is. Okay, Nanda?
Yeah.
I am just, because I am functioning in this different magnetic influences.
Yeah.
So when you lose control and you reach a level where you are no more in your control, then you see yourself, and then you see your face that is deeper, right? It's like you put on the mask, you understand that there is a mask, and then you remove the mask. But while remove the mask, you are removing Chhinnamasta. You are removing entirety. Now this is another question, and this is difficult question because it involves not the personal I, it involves the collective us. we know that there are these thresholds which when we can touch base with, right? It is so beautiful, it is so powerful, that it opens so many doorways. But it is so difficult to tell it to the third person. So you have to devise different ways to formulate different functional, creative processes that can flow easily. And perhaps the only how I see it is that two things that I would, in my life that I would really want to learn. One is how to learn how to sing. By not sing means like sing for others, but sing for myself. Like understand that rhythm and the play that I feel with my emotions and feelings. The music just touches me to a place where I'm so vulnerable. It comes and gets me in places that I want to hide away. That is one thing. The other thing is this stories that the world is made of, that we can exchange between each other. It is so powerful. And perhaps in a sense we have enough time and we don't have enough time. We have so little time. And if my engagement is, if I cannot engage with those thresholds, I will never be able to tell a story which is potent enough to contain life. I'll always scatter around my own sense of I, me's and judgments. So to give that to someone else, right? Let's say to feel that and to share that with my partner. It's a very challenging thing because the partner might at one moment of shock get so fearful that the entirety is disturbed. That in a sense that is a blessing too. Because त्यो चराले यसरी खसाइदिए जस्तै पनि हो नि त होइन दाजु नि त. So my challenge, I think to understand this is to find very subtle ways of sharing, perhaps being there together.
Yeah, for sure. That is one of my requirements when I shared with them, that they shouldn't do this alone. It's very dangerous, not only for the physical body, but also for the psychic status or mental status of a person. It can be dangerous if done without the person who knows what's going to happen and who has been there and seen that.
It's a shamanic lore.
Yeah, and always, if you want to do with us in the group, you can do as many times as you want.
Yeah.
And feel whoever may be ready in the life that could handle or that could see something from this, take a use of this, then just open up and share.
Yeah.
Just listen to the situation, listen to the people's story, and you'll know when to open to this person, and you just open and give this thing. I think it's that kind of good that we have found. Like, cherish it and share it.
Yeah.
Like when you find.
And there are subtle ways, which are so powerful ways. There is similar thing that happens during different forms of jikr. When you are in that whirlpool, not musical jikr, but body whirling jikr. You are in your whirlpool, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 21, right? Whirlpool, and drop. Absolute drop. It's very cathartic because it takes you to that cathartic journey, opens you even in that process. You're not expecting that it's happening, but it's already happening because you are already doing it. It is already. So these kind of techniques, they are practiced by kalandars. So there are kalandaris who go into deeper level of inner luminal trance states, which is quite impersonal, right? And at many times they use dholak. But with that dholak, like we did the exercise, there is this intense jerking of your body. But then you are already gone, right? But your body is still playing the dholak. You are not there. You have already भइसक्यो क्या त्यो ढलिसक्यो तर ढोलक बजाएर बस्यो क्या त्यो बडी चाहिँ. नाउ देन अब त्यो ढोलक बजाइछ दाजु.
तर त्यतिखेर as we are coming back, we feel the shake of the body. The body is doing certain shake. It's playing that dholak continuously. It's taking care of that. Like it's
the body
it's a
is
weird
functioning.
door. It's a really strange door that we have found.
There are doors, my dear. I think it's a good door because we relaxed. We didn't stretch it. रोकेन नि त होइन you let your body go नि त. So I think it's a very strong, I'd say, Kundalini force that you can tap into. And if you know how to navigate with that serpent, serpent देख्नु चाहिँ मान्छे चर्सिन्छ नि त नत्र होइन भन्नु त. People would not even dare it. But if you know how to navigate with that serpent, or that serpentine energy, it's a metaphor. It's a beautiful threshold, a door.
Yeah, it's every time it shows something, some new mechanism of this
Being.
It's always nice to be there and see what it shows, and as we come back, we have something. It's a really undescribable something. We bring it from that experience. It can be like mini death, like you said.
Yeah, it's a death experience. You can make it a death experience, I guess. If you can let go of a certain threshold. It's like a chabi, right? Some people don't, because they have not used the chabi with anything.
Yeah, this is really, really chabi.
It's a chabi.
You just know where to press, how to press. What's the mechanism?
So, antar kumbhak, bahir kumbhak. There is a practice. For a certain period of time, before you enter a certain threshold, you go to a place with an imaginal realm. So that place is that you are digging a grave, right? It might bring any sort of imaginations, but for 21 days, just dig a grave. Dig a grave. Dig a grave. Anytime you are with yourself, dig a grave. So that digging a grave, let it be a archetypal stamp on your fresh psyche. So that when you are reaching to a certain threshold, you are still in that digging a grave, so you have a certain... You are no more digging a grave, but the digging a grave is still happening. So your active and passive minds are... Now you have gone beyond that active and passive mind. There is no... Like that which is the gift that comes from having that presence permeate in your presence. Because there is a certain permeation, which is, I think it is already permeated right now, right? It's all, at any given time that permeation is there. It's just that the keys are not there for people to open door, for us to open doors. So when you open the door, then like just magnifying that experience into that which is on both thresholds, which is like to a Renaissance image where the God is touching the human being, finger wala. It's almost like that. The two sides are in that moment, not outside of it.
Now, both of these states sees each other at that point. Yeah. But they are not yet each other at the same time. So we come back and then we realize this nothingness, but still the sense of I was there, something was there.
Fana. In the practice of fana, there is something, again this is something funny, right? They use two words. So with fana comes baka. Baka is what is remaining, baki. Fana kya hua, baki kya hua. What went away, what stayed.
Yeah, there are a few friends who really enjoyed the whole process. And I used to do things that I learned here. And then mostly I would then gradually bring the group to not speaking at some point. And then would just sit and...
share the silence.
Yeah, at least twice or 3 times per this whole semester of work. 3 or 4 sessions we do that, nothing, like we don't speak anything. Yeah, I can say it can become really difficult for people to be just there and do nothing and just be there, like, what am I doing here, or what's going to happen, or what's somebody thinking, or what's going on.
I think it is to relax. For those who are prepared to take that leap of faith, I think it's an exciting journey.
यो मेथड एकदम इन्ट्रेस्टिङ छ, एकदम मलाई चाहिँ, तर खतरा मेथड हो क्या यो चाहिँ. यो मेथड एकदम स्याक्रेड मेथड पनि हो. यो चाहिँ इट्स नट फर एभ्री वान भन्ने फिल हुन्छ मलाई. लाइक म पर्सनली मलाई चाहिँ हुँदैन यो मेथडले. अनि बट इट्स अ भेरी पावरफुल मेथड होइन. इफ सम वान इज गोइङ थ्रु अनि कसैलाई गराएर एक्सपिरियन्स गरेपछि इट्स टु विटनेस इट्स सो पावरफुल क्या. त्यसको एनर्जी चाहिँ फिलै हुन्छ क्या. अनि एन्ड त्यो
I think I would say it would take a little bit more time for me to unpack the experience, right? Not just because you have to experience it a couple of times, but because I felt that I could see it from quite different perspectives all at once, and my mind was trying to catch all those windows. हुन्छ नि त्यो फरक घरमा अब 10 वटा झ्याल छ भने त्यो 10 वटा झ्यालबाट हेर्दा फरक फरक देखिन्छ नि त कुनै सानो कोठा ठुलो कोठा मन्दिर फरक फरक हैन इट्स लाइक देयर इज समथिङ दैट इज प्यारलली अब्जर्भिङ अल द एक्सपिरियन्स अराउन्ड यु क्या like a physical body, non-physical self, language, thoughts, life, death, whatever is there, right? The presence.
And the breath and the movement.
I think the other thing is, it is also where breath ends. It is also where the pranic force is no more flowing in your body, but it is. I'll tell you what I felt.
You do it for 21 times.
In Hatha Yoga, you know, in Hatha Yoga, the difference between Hatha Yoga and Patanjali Yoga is that Arya Ashtanga Yoga is that there is no yama and niyama.
No yama, yes.
Right.
Yes.
In this, there is no yama, niyama, asana.
Yes.
This is from pranayama.
Directly in the number 4.
Right. Ashram is just that 21 is you are putting your body in that exertion of breath and life force, pranic force.
This sounds like Goraksha's technique.
This is a Goraksha technique, Daju. This is a Moro Jogi Moro technique.
Jogi Moro technique.
But what is interesting to me is the point where there is that crossing of threshold, and that crossing of threshold, because there are so many different pathways through which that threshold is reached.
Yeah.
Like you said, the spinal cord is very important. Today I felt quite a surge in my solar plexus, right? Because the body is going through that exertion. It is in ways. If you want to convert base metal into alchemical gold, it has to go through fire. It has to burn. It has to alchemize.
True.
If the carbon wants to be a diamond, right, it has to burn. And this one is like burning.
It's like burning. It's
And
a very
but
tantric,
I will tell
it's a
you,
very tantric.
it's a very tantric thing. The other thing, it is burning, and then there is fire. Then the fire makes smoke, and then you can see that smoke, you can smell that smoke. But after some time, the smoke also vanishes. But whatever was that which was fire, the Agni Tattva, you can still feel that Tattva penetrating through every sense of your being. Not just in your body, mind, emotions or thoughts. If you just see, it is just that you have access that field. Now you are no more the person trying to think about that experience, but you are that thing that is living that experience.
And that's enough for me, while you say it, because that's if someone have experienced, then they can explain
But
that. But
as you said, there are you can experience it through various doors.
Yes,
This is a very
true.
this is Hatha, kya?
This is our talk.
This is solar and lunar all at once.
And my method, I would say, like, okay, it's the same method. It's the same method, but yesterday we talked about, like, just simply putting the attention towards the spinal cord and just observing the energy going up and down and just sitting in the silence.
Yeah.
And just shifting that attention towards that also, it's really helpful for me. That door is, I feel more, it's okay. I feel good. And of course, I have to do some asanas. As you say, Goraksha, it directly starts from. I agree on that. But I am in the Patanjali Sutra.
Yeah.
I have to come from yama, a little bit niyama, a little bit asana, then only pranayama. What else? It's. But I am resonating with Gorakshanath. I am quite resonating with
This
Gorakshanath.
Adesi Maharaj, come here, dear.
Adesi Maharaj.
Yesterday, the other thing that I was trying to say is because I used to pass out quite a lot in my childhood, and I could compare that experience with the experience of passing out, right?
Yeah.
And
this.
the passing out space
sorry
is
to-
one of the most important spaces I have experienced as an entity, because as an entity I have definitions for I have control in a way, but in that place I have absolutely no control. Like when we went to
Yes.
Swargadwari,
Yes.
right?
You.
I passed away. Everyone came back, and
Gosai passed
I was not coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, and then it is also to relax in that not coming back and being in that space. That is why it is a doorway to Bardo, Daju. But I think the other thing that I was feeling is Daju, I think this should be scientifically tested. I'm pretty serious about it. What should be done is, like, when you are doing that kriya, because this is a kriya, right? When you are doing that kriya, and if we can have some research around it, I think we'll catch something that will connect two different luminous scientific spaces. One is of the body, the other is of the psyche. These are quite different, because the medical sense, it is psychology, it is physical, physiology. I think somewhere in between there is this space which this is holding.
In this episode, we shared a conversation with two yogis from Nepal, Navaran and Aadu, regarding the Chhinnamasta Technique of Meditation. If you want to know more about different types of meditation practices, you can follow us on our social media, Maya Satsang.
Thank you for listening to Chhinnamasta Conversations, a part of the Mindful Maya podcast where we listen and share your stories. You can find us on social media as Maya Satsang. Please leave us your thoughts on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, as it will help us grow and take your stories to where they need to be heard. We appreciate your support and look forward to hearing from you.